happen.
What if, I have a question though, real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but what about like, I think what the question too is like somebody who's got 20% down, right?
I see.
They might have like 15%, or they want to put maybe a little bit more down, but
Oh no, buy now.
Well,
if you've got that and you can buy now. Yeah.
Well, and then the other part of that too is like, well, they're saying, well, I'm going to save money because, you know, I want to get more money down so I can reduce my.
Okay. I got you. I know where you're going with this, and to answer that question, I can do an analysis, and it's like, it's going to be incremental, the amount of money that you would save if you were, because when you amortize a loan over 30 years, the payment is minuscule, you know, when you put down an additional 5%, really. So, you know, your appreciation that you're going to get is going to be far better. So you're going to not only lock in a lower interest rate, but you're going to grab it when the market's lower, because we know that the homes are going to continue to appreciate. So unless your propensity to save is, you know, you can save 5% a month, which I seriously doubt, you buy now. You know, 5% of the purchase price is what I'm saying.
And then with rates going up, it kind of doesn't. I mean, if rates go up, you're going to get a higher loan. You're going to have a higher rate. Yes,
you're going to have a higher rate, and you're going to have a higher purchase price, because in a couple months we know that home will be listed at, or it's going to go for more, right?
Yep. Awesome. All right, number 2. What's number 2? Tax advantage.
So what are the tax advantages to home ownership? So again, I have conversations with first-time home buyers all the time, and they're faced with 2 choices, right? They can stay where they're at and rent, or they can look at purchasing a home. So they're starting to think about that idea of making a purchase, which is why they're on the phone now. And so we have to do a comparison. And I ask a lot of questions, right? So I always ask, okay, have you had your rent increased? All right, by how much? How does that make you feel? People are usually pissed off when the rent increases. Do you have pets? Are you charged more for your pets? Do you have any space? A lot of times people are renting they're usually renting smaller units, smaller condos, and they end up wanting to look at something with more space, a single family residence. So what I do is then do an analysis of what their current payment is versus, you know, let's say they're paying $2,700, and you know, they're going to buy a house that's $550,000. They're going to put 10% down. Their total payment would be $3,628. And I always estimate they can write off 100% of all of their interest that they pay on the loan. They can write off all of the property taxes that they pay on their loan. And if they make less than $109,000 as a joint couple, they can write off the mortgage insurance. So it depends on, you know, it's case by case. But with that situation, they'd save, and I did an analysis, $863 a month. And I do this for every single scenario that I send out to our clients. And I tell them, you know, how much they save in taxes, and it's right there. And then I subtract it against that $3,600, and it shows that, hey, their total payment with tax advantages are now $2,765. You're paying $2,700 now. Your mortgage could be $2,765 when you consider the tax advantages. What's there not to like?
Love it. No.
So I love to go over those tax advantages on a monthly basis. The other piece of the tax equation is what's the new tax code like, right? That's been kind of, you know, an unknown. And the way that code was written is you can tax deduct up to $750,000 on a $750,000 loan. You can write off all of the interest. Okay, so if you had $1 million loan, you could only write off the interest that you would be paying on $750,000 of that million. Did I explain that right? Does that make sense?
Yep. $750,000. So if someone gets a loan, they can write off up to $750,000 of that loan.
Right. Yep. And that's of January 1st, 2018 moving forward, and only 5% of the population is anticipated to be affected by that. So a very small number. I haven't run into anybody yet that's been affected by that, but yeah, small number there. Okay, so that's tax advantages. Does anyone have any questions on that one?
Questions? No questions.
Okay. So the third thing I wanted to talk about was how I can help you make sure you're going to get paid on a deal and make sure you get paid fast. And so that was something that Kevin, and it's not rocket science, but Kevin had alluded to it at the beginning of the call, where what we're doing is we're allocating underwriting resources, we're allocating processing resources to get our clients approved, fully underwritten approval before they find a property, before they start writing offers. And so how does that help you? That helps you because you can now write the loan, you can write the offer with a 17-day close, you can write the offer with a no loan contingency. So I think that those two things are really going to help you guys out in the marketplace with multiple offer situation that we're in. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's really important. We talk about it all the time when we submit our offers, having the clients fully underwritten, loan approved, having that part of it completed and being able to present that with our offer. And also being able to present you as a lender, as a partner to help us with the process and reach out to the listing agent, talk with them, explain the buyer situation, explain the strength of their financing, and really help us get the offer accepted. That's crucial. And I know that you're big on doing that. So that's
really. I'm glad you brought that up. Absolutely. I love calling the listing agent when you submit an offer. The way to go is just, get me the name, the phone number of the listing agent. Let me know when you sent it in, and then I'll follow up with a phone call. I'll introduce myself, and still a sense of security in the fact that I'm local. I'm going to get the deal done. They're fully underwritten. Their qualifications are sound. And we're going to close this deal, and we're going to close it fast. Everybody's happy. Everybody gets paid. If it's part of many dominoes, the domino will make sure that it gets done. What's up?
I'm sorry. I was going to ask you real quick. What can we do when we're talking with our clients to coach them in regards to their financing and let's say we make an introduction to you, like what are some things that we should be saying to them to help ease the transition and make their experience as positive as can be?
Awesome. Yeah. That is so important that you bring that up, because you guys helping me to then get a dialogue is really beneficial. I can reach out to these people all the time, and they'll, a lot of times they'll just ignore my call. So what you say will help me to get on the line with them. And then once I'm on the line with them, that really helps, then I can sell what I need to do. But so to answer your question, what you want to be talking about is the fact that Billy can look at your situation, and people are often, apprehensive about talking to a lender. And what I've learned is that they're scared, right? They're scared that they're not going to get approved. They're scared their credit's not good enough. They're scared their income's not high enough. And so that fear is what stops them from talking to me. And so we have to overcome that fear. And the way to overcome that fear is what I need you to iterate, and what I say as well is, hey, talk to Billy. He's going to do an analysis on your situation. If you don't qualify now, he'll give you an understanding of what you can do to then become a homeowner in the near future. If your income's not high enough, he'll tell you where your income needs to be. He'll recommend strategies to increasing your income, maybe bringing on a co-borrower, maybe bringing on, a husband, a wife, a brother, a sister. If your credit's not high enough, he can do an analysis. I have a credit expert report I can run, and I can show them, this, if they had $10,000, what's the best use of that $10,000 to then increase their credit score. Kevin has a credit repair that we can recommend them to if that's the route we need to take. Let's see. So we got income, credit, and then finally assets. Those are the three things that I look at as a lender to determine if you're qualified. If you don't have enough assets, we can look at down payment assistance. If you need to save up that money, I can tell you exactly how much you need to save up. Or you can get a gift, right? People don't know that they can maybe ask mom or dad for gift funds or somebody else to help them out. So those are the things that you can do to really help overcome fear, and then have a conversation with me. And that's the basic.
Awesome. And then I know you've been meeting with quite a few of the marker agents. You met with Stephanie, Kayla. You've been working with Ray. If we have specific questions and we want, we have a particular situation, like we would just reach out to you. Can we reach out to you? I know that obviously you've been very, very open and willing to share, but I know like you're even willing to like drive and meet, sit down, go over stuff, meet for coffee, one-on-one, like, teaching about certain topics that are maybe more specific. So you can just reach out to you individually.
Yeah. Yep. I would love to sit down and have, and sit down and meet with everybody. I love face-to-face meetings. I love face-to-face meetings with buyers. I love face-to-face meetings with you guys. So, I'm located in downtown Walnut Creek. We're on the 6th floor of Grover Square building. It's right downtown. My office, you're welcome to come into the office and meet. I would be happy to drive out to Oakland, San Francisco, and you can always call or text me on my cell phone. It's 916-296-7000, as well as email. I'm working through my email all day. So,
and then you can cover SoCal too, right? You can handle Orange County if we have someone that has
not face to face, but absolutely, I'll make the phone call.
I know that. Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Cool. Awesome. Anything else you'd like to share, Billy, at all that you'd like to talk about?
That's it. Hey, I spilled my guts right there.
That's awesome, man. Really
that's a lot of who I am, and I'm very open, and I'm looking for I'm always looking for strategies to do my job better, and I'm always learning, you guys. So, hey, that's my perspective on the business, and that's who I am.
Really great, man. Like I said, the time that we've got to know each other over the last few months has been really great. You've done some transactions for us, and done a great job. That's why I wanted you to come on today.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Kevin. I feel the same way.
And you guys, anyone have any questions for Billy? Catherine just asked what's your contact info. I'll share Billy's contact info on Slack so everyone has it. So that way you guys can keep it. Any questions, thoughts, ideas, suggestions that anyone has right now for Billy? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay. All right, cool. Well, we'll share the info. No questions. Really great, man. Billy, thank you so much. If you want to stick around,
Thanks,
Billy, for the last 5 minutes, we're gonna ask Eli and Rebecca to jump on and talk about HomeBids and how HomeBids is working for them. They've signed 3 listing agreements in the last week using homebids.com. So, so if you have to go,
I'm gonna stick around. I'll just put myself on mute here.
Cool. So Eli, jump on, man.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Eli and Rebecca are here. And,
Hey, as many of you know, I recently got my real estate license and started prospecting, calling sellers, expireds, and anyone that would talk to me about selling their home, really. But after a few calls, I realized that every other realtor was calling the same numbers hundreds of times. Most of the time, I would get an angry seller or just an upset person, and a heavy sigh with a cold hang-up. So I went back and I worked on my script, as most of you would as well. I finally got to the point where I sounded confident and had a lot of less people hang up on me.
Okay, so you guys, let's talk about HomeBids. So you guys,
oh yeah, of course.
You guys are using homebids.com, and you guys were able to sign 3 listings in the last week. So
That's right, yeah.
What is HomeBids, and then how'd you guys get 3 listings using HomeBids?
Absolutely. Well, the whole point is that we were in everyone's shoes where we're trying to get sellers, and at the end of the day, we show up, we deliver an amazing presentation, and every time we go through it, we're excited, and we get the same question: how much commission do you charge? Would you lower your commission? Would you, and we go back and forth, and we ended up not getting one of the listings a couple of weeks ago for that reason. So we decided to get creative, and we found home bids, and that's what we want to bring to you. Essentially, as we're calling, it doesn't really matter where people stand. We, call and say, hey, Mr. Seller, are you still selling 123 Main Street? And they can be like, no, not at all. I'm like, well, what if I bring you multiple offers above asking price in only 8 days, and I will only charge you 3% commission? Would you like to know more details about that? And whether it's a yes or a no, whether they want to sell their home or not, they want to talk about it. They're like, what is this? Like, I've never heard of that before. And so what we're doing is essentially home biz is changing the way where the real estate industry is going. And we are at the very, very beginning stages of that change. And Rebecca and I are 2 out of 4 nationwide agents that are able to certify people in the home biz process. So essentially, traditional ways to list a home is you get the listing, you put on MLS, you market it, you advertise it, and then you wait and pray for someone to come in. And you never really know what buyers are going to come in. So not so much control over that process as the listing agent as we would like. So what HomeBiz gives you is the ability to put your home on auction, and it's all done via HomeBiz. Pretty simple process. You list a home, you put it on the market, you advertise it, you market it the same way, and people have to go to your website and they register in order to bid on the property. If the bidding goes $1,000 at a time, and people are able to set their maximum cap that they would like to pay, so it'll auto bid for them. And at the last day, that's where most of the action happens, and you get a lot of people bidding. The beautiful part is for listing agents is that you get 3% commission. You get a whole chunk. So you get paid more for doing a lot less. You don't have to run around last minute to go show a home. Oh, my buyer can only see it at this time. Nope, I'm so sorry. They're going to, in an amount of 8 days that we're going to list this home, we're going to have 3 to 4 open houses, 2 during the week, 2 on the weekend. If you can't see it then, we're so sorry. There are going to be definitely a lot of people there. The idea behind this is when somebody comes into a house all on their own, they see the house, it's empty, you're the agent, you're talking to them, it's all wonderful. But what you're missing in an open house, what a lot of people get is they're walking around the house and they see hundreds of other people walking around just as interested as they are. And what that puts in their brain, that embeds the idea that this home is very sought after, it's going to be a hot property, and they probably need to expect to bid a little bit more. So when they go, and as a buyer, they can bid themselves, or they can have their agent, who doesn't have to be certified or trained or anything, simply go on our website, register, and they can bid for their client, or the client can bid themselves. It's super, super easy. So, what they get is transparency. There's no more, oh, well, let's submit an offer and wait what happens. This is, you can literally see where the price is at every given moment. So they stay online, they bid, and we take the top 3 to 5 bids. At the very end of the day, we see exactly who they are, and we get to choose the best and highest bid, or we can just send them all sell a multiple counter offer, keep the bidding war going. Essentially, we're giving the seller all of these amazing opportunities to just bid up the price, get people essentially gamble over the house and see who gets it. Only one person can, but we're including a lot of people in here. Another wonderful thing is, as a listing agent, you don't ever have to guess who the buyer is. Before they can even bid on the website, they have to submit their proof of funds and pre-approval letter in order to be registered and be allowed to bid on the website. So you're always dealing with quality buyers. That's wonderful. And if a person doesn't have those things, they can simply register with their credit card. And if at the end, they're one of the top 3 bids, they get 24 hours to get their agent to submit a purchase agreement with their terms, so that we can not only look at price, but the terms as well. So, and often these are orphan buyers. They don't have an agent yet. They just want to bid on the house. And if they win, they need a purchase agreement. So guess what? I'm going to hand it to Rebecca, or she's going to hand it back to me, or we can use one of our fellow marker agents to write a deal. We don't want to dual end these deals, but we definitely want to work with some marker people. So we may have even buyer leads to throw around. So we're generating listings, we're generating buyer leads in many different ways. And at the end of the day, you get a pretty transparent report of the whole bidding process. So we can give to the seller and say, hey, look, even if the property didn't sell for what you wanted, this is what the market tells you. People are bidding, and this is the highest absolute bid. And it's pretty convincing when you show him that bid by bid, and you show him how high the property has gone. Of course, that doesn't happen. 99% of the time, we go above market value and what the asking price is, and it works out wonderfully. And at the end of the day, people who didn't win the house and they don't have an agent, then we can just absolutely call them and go ahead and help them out and get another property. So we're getting a bunch of buyer leads. We're able to secure sellers. You're not interested in selling your home? Well, let me tell you what I got. And after we tell them, they either want to talk to us, schedule a follow-up call, or just meet in person and just go for it. So in the last week, we have secured 3 out of 3. Yeah.
And next week we have about 5 more listing appointments to go to. So it's working really well for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we got the whole range. We got from $300,000 homes up to 1.4, 1.3, and 900,000. We got all kinds of price ranges. So HomeBids works for a lot of different, styles and ranges, and it's pretty darn easy to use. So what we're going to do for everyone at Marker is put on an event on March 15th at the tennis club where we are going to certify anyone who wants to learn and get this going for themselves. It's worked for us, so I'm sure it can work for anyone who puts their hard work and dedication to it. So like I said, Rebecca and I are 2 out of 4 nationwide certified agents in this. So essentially you come in to the training, you'll learn a bunch, and if you make a decision to, like we did, to dedicate ourselves to get more listings this year, and on top of getting a lot of buyers, then you can just go ahead. We'll tell you how to sign up, what to do. We'll tell you the step-by-step process so you can succeed. And then you can go out and we'll provide you a website, marketing materials, flyers, advertising. Everything is already done for you. And script. And we'll be there as your support system. We're working on a lot of different tools to support you guys as you're doing this too, because I'm sure most of you would love this. And, if some of you are skeptical, don't want to join right away, you're going to see some of our other agents start doing this, be successful. I'm sure you'll jump on board. At the very least, you're going to walk out of that training event certified after an hour and a half with us. And maybe you can just market that aspect that you're HomeBids auction certified. Win-win situation. We'd love to see you on March 15th, and we'll take some questions if you guys have any for us.
Before we jump into questions, I want to just point out a couple of things that I think are very, very important. First is the commission. So we all know about Redfin. We know about, all these companies that are kind of racing to the bottom in terms of the commission, essentially trying to steal our commissions, take our commissions away, reduce our commissions with Redfin, 1% listings, with these, with that, discount brokerages, this and that. So one thing that if the reason why I support HomeBids is because they do, the commission is still the same. So the agents still get paid. Buyers agents and listing agents still get paid. We're not like hurting the industry. We're actually helping the industry. HomeBids, I think, is a really great way to it's a different approach to listings. So one thing Eli didn't mention is the buyer's agent. So the seller pays 3%, and then the buyer's agent gets paid through the bidding process. As the bids accumulate, the buyer's agent gets paid by the buyer. So the 2.5% is included in the offer price. And if you think about that for a second, in today's market, it's really a drop in the bucket. Like nobody's going to care about if they're buying a property and there's multiple offers and they're bidding one by one. If they have to, the additional 2.5% is covered by the buyer. It's like it's an additional cost. That's part of the home bid process. So at the end of the day, it's nobody's getting chiseled on their commission, which is one thing that I think is really, really important. And Eli can get into the details about that. The other thing is, what I like about it is if you're calling expireds and FSBOs, everyone has the same pitch, right? Everyone has the same pitch. It's like, oh, I can sell your home for the most money. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this. This opportunity with HomeBids allows us to change the pitch a little bit. It's like a hack. It's like a cheat code if you're playing video games. Like it's an advantage. It's a competitive advantage because we can say to the seller, all you have to pay is 3%. And we're going to put it on an auction and we're going to get it sold. We're going to have transparency. So that's a very attractive pitch that we have that we can provide to sellers. And then number 3 is, which another thing is with the 8-day auction. If it doesn't go, you could talk about how it works if it doesn't sell at auction, Eli. But
yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead. One thing real quick is this. if it doesn't work out for whatever reason with home bids, which Eli will talk about, it gives us a foot in the door. At the very least, we get to talk to the seller. Like Rebecca just said, they have like 5 appointments, because sellers, it's a different tune that they're hearing now. Like out of all the calls they've gotten from agents, there's only been one that said they can sell their house for 3%. So now they've got their ears, now you've got their attention. So it gets you that foot in the door, and it's a matter of how you pitch it and how you can get, how you can pitch this opportunity to sellers to get you in front of them. So those are my thoughts. But go ahead, Eli.
Yeah, absolutely. So, instead of getting hung up on, we're getting a question after we tell our pitch, we're getting questions like, oh, how does that work? We want to know more. Absolutely, Mr. Seller. We'd love to sit down and discuss it with you. It's Tuesday or Wednesday better. And they just want to hear it at least, or tell their friend or whatever it is. So it's really wonderful. And, when we get to the appointment and we tell the seller, everything that we just told you here today, and we're going to be teaching you, and let's say they're old school, they're traditional, and they're saying, oh, I've never heard of this. I don't know if I can trust this, whatever may happen. Well, not a problem at all. In the offer, and I point out the words to them right in the contract, in the listing agreement there, saying no risk involved. The seller reserves the right to accept, counter, or reject any bid. So for that reason, we tell them straight up, do you want to sell it with us? This will tell you how much your home is worth. It's going to give you multiple offers above market price in just a short amount of time. If this doesn't work for any reason, the 0.001% chance it doesn't work, don't take it. I don't want you to take an offer you don't like, but I do want to bring you a lot of offers to think about rather than not bringing me an offer at all. So, and they just fall in love with it. And I say, look, if you don't want to, sell it our way, if it doesn't work out, not a problem. After 8 days, we're going to sell it traditionally. We're going to revert this to a traditional 5% listing where we get 2.5. Buyer agents gets 2.5. We're going to market it the same way every other agent would, only we're going to do it better. And then we can talk about how we do things better at that point. But right there at that moment, even if we didn't sell them on home bids, we're in the door to sell right there already. And they like us, and they can move forward with us in the traditional listing too. So it works wonderfully. And, you're going to get one or the other. So people have been pretty happy so far with us on appointments, and more to come. Yeah. Yeah.
And then really nobody else is really doing this. Like Eli said, there's only like 4 people. I think it's very interesting. And I think that we should, if you guys, this could be a really big opportunity. I think there's like the setup. You want to talk about how it works, if people to set up, sign up, join, or whatever. Do you want to get into that right now, Eli, and how that works?
Well, what I want to do is I just wanted to give everyone a sneak peek. I'm sure everyone has questions. They're wondering how it works. It sounds good from every angle, and it truly does. And what I want to do is invite everyone to the March 15th event to come and see us for, I don't know, an hour and a half. And you're going to walk out of there certified and, with all the tools and materials you need to succeed. And we're always going to be there to support you and, go from there. So we just wanted to tell you about the event, and you come there, you're going to come out of it knowing every piece of details that you need. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully we can see you guys come. Oh yeah. One other thing, a wonderful product like this is definitely not free, and HomeBiz does charge $100 per person to get certified. So we wish we could put this on for you for free, but this is going to be a $100 flat fee one time to come in, and essentially that pays for the certification. Yeah. So, in a small, it's just a small drop in the bucket compared to, even if you get one listing out of this, it's going to pay for itself. But I'm sure you heard that pitch before too. But yeah, just show up to the event and learn a bunch.
$100 is totally worth it. We pay $100 for one lead on Realtor.com. So,
right.
Okay. And then one question here, Bjorn has, how are there so many bidders if there are only 4 agents doing this? It's that it's because the property is listed on the MLS. So there's only 4 agents that are certified, like Eli and Rebecca. But the property is still exposed to the public. So it still goes on the MLS. It's exposed just like any other property. The only difference is that when people bid or want to make an offer, they have to go to home bids and submit their offer through home bids. And frankly, the way that offers are presented today, it's a little like, I don't know, it's not, there's something wrong with it, in my opinion. It's like a blind auction, right? Like I want to buy the house. Let's say I'm a buyer. I want to buy this house, but tell me what I have to offer. Like what's it going to take for the seller to sell this house to me? Like 9 out of 10 times, you don't know the answer to that. You have to guess. You have to play a game, a blind auction. You have to submit, maybe they're going to accept this or that. Where with what I like about this. It provides transparency. Everyone can see what the offers are. It's fully transparent, open. Everyone knows, and that's, to me, I think is a service that is lacking to buyers that are submitting offers. So, yeah. So to answer your question, Bjorn, it's exposed to the market, and that's why.
Correct. Yeah, we put it on MLS. We market the homes, and you can just log in yourself, even without an agent, and you can see where the market is at. You can start bidding, or have your agent bid for you. And as an agent, on the buyer side, you don't have to be certified in anything. You can just log on a website and start bidding. So you can tell your client, well, it's right now at 1.1 million. You want to keep bidding? We can go up to whatever, and you can set. There's a lot of different tools too on. For example, you can't just log in at the very last second, with 2 seconds left, put the last $1,000 and just, squeak out of it. It doesn't really work like that. You can, once another bid gets submitted within the last 10 minutes, the draft or the auction automatically extends 10 minutes, and it alerts everybody who has bid before that the auction is now extended, and they have another opportunity to come in and submit another bid if they'd like to do so. So, and at the end, the top bidder doesn't necessarily win it. It's about terms too. So the top 3 bidders are required to submit a purchase agreement within 24 hours. And that's where we can see their terms. We can then counter or do whatever we want with those. Or, so pretty convenient.
Yeah. And the nice part is if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, you have a relationship with the seller now, right? So if it doesn't work out in the auction for whatever reason, there's a pretty good chance you're going to be able to continue to list that property. But I think there's no reason why I wouldn't sell on home bids. But that's just fail safe in case it doesn't work out. I've got my foot in the door, and I can list it like a regular listing. So it looks like there's one more message here, Roxana. So you're bidding for the chance to submit an offer.
Correct. Absolutely.
And we can Go ahead, Eli. Sorry, I was going to say we can get into all the details at the event, but feel free. Go ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. So you're bidding for the highest price, but as you know, let's say you're a listing agent and you get, out of you listed for 500,000, you got 5 offers above 800,000. Well, which one gets it? It's not always the absolutely highest price that gets the property. You also look at the terms. You look at the lender they're using. Can they cover closing costs? Can they come up a little more in price? Can they do this and this and that? This is what we're looking at too. So it's not, this is the highest bid, let's do it. No, well, there's a lot more to it than that. And that's where you come in as the listing agent with your expertise, and you start and you explain to the seller all of their options. So, if someone has an inspection contingency, it's probably a big red flag. But, it just depends on the situation, of course. And this can be used with so many different homes, so many different properties, as long as the market is there for it. And right now it absolutely is. The only properties this probably won't work for, I would say, is something with a very small market. For example, senior living communities. They don't have, hundreds of bidders. They don't have buyers that come in every day. They tend to sit around sometimes and be a little slower in terms of turnover. So probably a senior living community, not the best property to sell. Also, when you get above the 3 million price point, there's probably not hundreds and hundreds of bidders at that point. San Francisco, maybe there is still, but in other areas not. So the multi-million luxury properties are also probably not going to be the best fit, but everything in between from 0 to 3 million, and that's not senior living, in my opinion, can absolutely be put on the site and bid.
With that said, I still think it's a good way to get your foot in the door. So if it doesn't sell with that $3 million listing, you put it on auction, you've created a relationship with the seller, and good or bad, you've got your foot in the door. So any other questions on that, guys, on home bids? So like Eli said, we're gonna do an event at the tennis club in San Francisco, where Eli and Rebecca are gonna present and talk more about the details of home bids. And then if you guys want to attend that and you want to sign up, definitely want to be there for that. So with that, anything else, Eli, you'd like to add? Billy, Rebecca, anyone?
Yeah. Hey, I was just thinking, you were talking about transparency. What's up with listing agents and the lack of transparency on the bids that they have? I mean, is there something that says, is there some unspoken rule that you're not supposed to disclose what your highest offer is?
There's no rule. It's not rule against disclosing what the highest offer is. You can disclose it. In fact, it says it in the contract that there's like a clause in there that says it's not confidential.
So then why wouldn't a listing agent, it would be in their best interest as well as their client's best interest to be transparent and say, yeah, I've got an offer that's above asking and it came in at this number.
I agree with that. I feel like I feel like it should be an open forum. Like you should be able to tell everyone what the offers are. I think the reason why a lot of agents don't do it is because if I tell you that my offer is $1 million, and you were planning on writing $1.1 million or $1.2 million or $1.3 million, and I tell you my highest offer is $1 million, now you may not be willing to write $1.3 million anymore. Now you only want to write $1.05 million. You see, that's the reason. I think that's the reason. But in terms of a multiple offer situation where there's like a bunch of people, and I feel like it's, in my view, my opinion, it's better to just be open about it and show it here.
My opinion is 9 times out of 10, they're like, I wonder if I can come in at 950. And you're like, hey, I got an offer at $1 million. And they're like, oh, shit, we got to come in at we got to come in higher than $1 million now,
Yep. So, and that's why what we teach is like, when you do submit an offer, really the crucial period is after you submit that offer, and reaching out to the agent and trying to extract as much info as possible so you can get that answer that you're looking for. What is the highest offer? And the way that we get to that point is the work we've done prior to that with the agent, by building rapport, by having you reach out to the agent and talk with them, talk about the client, create some positive, energy there, so that when we get to that point where it's like, I need to know what the answer is, what's the highest offer. That's not a new conversation. That's like me talking to my friend that I've been working with for the last 2 weeks or a week, talking with this listing agent. So when it does come time to ask that really important question, like, we've already got a rapport and they may answer me. So those are like some of the things that we do to increase our chances of getting offers accepted. So.
Yeah. Smart.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, Eli, Rebecca, Billy. It was a really good call, and hope everyone has a great weekend, and talk to everyone soon. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Have a good day, guys.